Good morning, I'm Judge Wilson. Can you hear me?
Good morning, Judge. Alicia Smith on behalf of the Public Defender's Office. Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. All right, the first case I have is Anthony Adams. Mr. Adams, you were arrested for battery charge. I find that there is probable cause for the arrest. I'm going to set your bond at $500. You are to have no contact with the victim. Good luck to you. And the Public Defender's Office
hold on.
is appointed to represent you.
Hold on. Judge, he does qualify for direct pretrial release. We'd ask for PTR in this case. Hold on.
I understand, but they have not been able to contact the victim. So that will be denied at this point. $500 for the bond, no contact with the victim. The next case is Yamar Daly Arthur. Are you Yamar Daly Arthur?
Correct.
Mr. Arthur, you have two charges here: fleeing, attempting to elude the police, failure to obey a lawful stop with their lights and sirens on, and a suspended driver's license as a habitual offender. There is probable cause for the arrest. As to the fleeing, attempting to elude, the bond will be set at $1,000, $2,500 for count 2. And sir, you are not to drive until you have a valid driver license.
Judge, he has another case that is listed under the added charges case that occurred during the same arrest. It's a possession of marijuana and a paraphernalia charge, if we want to take care of that while he's here.
Yes, both of those charges, sir, are carry a $500 bond each. There is probable cause for that arrest as well. Good luck to you. He has a VOP? Where is that? I see the possession on view. He's on. All right. I see, sir, that you are currently on felony probation, 2015 CF 3980, for possession of marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. I'm going to find that you have violated conditions of your bond. Your bond will be set at 0 on that. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Can you play those words? Next case is Malene Baez. Maylene Baez.
Hi, yes, I'm Aileen Baez.
Ma'am, you were arrested for battery. There's probable cause for the arrest. I see here that you do qualify for pretrial release. They've been unable to contact the victim. Your bond will be set at $500 and you are to have no contact with the victim.
Judge, I understand the victim hasn't been able to be contacted, but she also has no priors. Would the court consider pretrial release in that circumstance with a no contact order?
No, ma'am. Next case is Nicholas Barrios. Mr. Barrios, you were arrested for DUI and no valid driver license. There's probable cause for the arrest. As to count number 1, the DUI, the bond is set at $1,000. Count 2, bond set at $500. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Good luck to you. Next case is James Campbell.
Hold on. Can we reset him, Judge?
Reset, Mr. Campbell. What's the reason for the reset?
He is in medical, Judge.
Thank you. He will be reset for tomorrow. Next case is David East. David East. Mr. East, you were arrested for battery and false imprisonment.
I do have a probable cause argument if the court is going to find PC for the battery.
State?
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
Your Honor, in reviewing the affidavit just now, I don't see a battery here, but the state would just request a 24-hour reset then.
I'll give you 24 hours on Mr. East's case.
Is there probable cause for the second count?
I'll give you 24 hours on the second count as well.
Thank you, Judge.
Next
Will
case
the court
is,
set a bond in the meantime? I'm sorry, Judge.
not yet. I'll give him 24 hours
Okay.
on the PC. Thank you. Next case is Alfred Gandy. Mr. Gandy, you have here a failure to appear on a written promise, basically failure to appear. Your bond, there's probable cause for that. The bond is set at $500. You also have two other charges, possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of cocaine. Find there's probable cause for that, those charges as well. Bond is set at $500 for the paraphernalia, $2,500 for possession of cocaine. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Jose Garcia Santiago.
He bonded, Judge.
Thank
Your
you.
Honor, John,
Yes.
No, sorry.
Your Honor, yes. John Marino with pretrial release. He's currently out on ROR on the Osceola case, 19 MM 1488. Would you be taking any action?
That's the case for the failure to appear, Judge.
Is-
They're talking about Gandy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Gandy, I see operating a motor vehicle with no valid driver license.
No, Gandy was the possession of cocaine paraphernalia, and then he had the FTA warrant.
Okay. So we're looking at Gandy here. Failure to appear, the bond was set at $500, the bond set at $500.
Thank you.
Just didn't hear me? Okay. Next case is Jose Garcia Santiago.
He bonded, Judge.
Thank you. Sandra Glass. Ms. Glass, you have been arrested for failure to appear. Your bond is set at $2,000. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Good luck to you. Isidoro Gonzalez. Are you Isidoro Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You were arrested, it looks like, for DUI. There's probable cause to support the charge. The bond will be set at $500. And the
He
Public
does call
Defender's
for direct
Office is,
pretrial release, Judge.
hold on just a second. The Public Defender's Office will be
sorry.
representing you. I see that you do qualify for pretrial release. That will be denied. Christian Irizarry. Mr. Irizarry, you were arrested for aggravated battery on a pregnant woman and tampering with evidence. There's probable cause for both of those arrests. As to count number 1, the bond will be set at $3,500. You are to have no contact with the victim in this case. And no contact means you don't call, you don't email, you don't text, you don't have someone else do it on your behalf. And obviously, in the regular sense of the word, you are not to have any contact with the victim. Count 2, bond will be set at $1,000. Public Defender's Office to represent you. Janice LaBelle. Janice LaBelle.
She's approaching, Judge. And she's going to be hiring private.
Thank you. Ms. LaBelle, you were arrested for violation of probation. Is this an out-of-county warrant? Okay. Ms. LaBelle, you were arrested on a warrant for violation of probation. Your bond will be set at none. Good luck to you. And point the PD office to represent you. Thank you. Aisha Lane? Aisha Lane? Oh, that's right. That lady there is getting her own attorney, so the public defender's office won't be appointed to represent you. I forgot about that just that
Thank you,
quick.
Judge.
Next
Don't
case is
qualify.
Right. You can have a seat.
Aisha Lane.
Yes.
Ms. Lane, good morning. You have an arrest warrant here for a violation of probation for grand theft. Public defender's office will be appointed to represent you. Your bond is set at none. Good luck to you. Rafael Martinez Mojica.
Can we reset him, Judge? He's detoxing.
All right, he will be reset for tomorrow. Next case is Joseph Miranda Ortiz. Mr. Ortiz, you were arrested for resisting an officer without violence. I find there is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. You do meet the criteria for pretrial release, so you will be placed on pretrial release.
Thank you.
Good luck to you. The next case is Jean Carlos Acacio Morales.
Judge, I do have a PC argument as to the no ballot.
All right. Mr. Ocasio Morales, you were arrested on a charge of leaving the scene of a crash involving damage to property and operating a motor vehicle without a valid license. Ms. Smith, you said you have a probable cause argument for the no valid?
No ballot. Aside from the citation, Judge, there's nothing in the FHP report to indicate that Mr. Morales did not have a valid license. There's only the citation with no PC or nothing indicated as to the no valid charge.
He's never had one issued according to the citation.
Right.
There was never one issued. So
But there's
does-
nothing to indicate that an FCIC was ran to indicate that. Aside from the officer checking that on the citation, there's nothing to indicate that he verified that in any way.
State?
State would request a 24-hour reset to get that statement.
All right, I'll give you 24 hours on that one. $500. I won't set a bond on the no valid yet. I'll give the state 24 hours to get PC on that one. As to the leaving the scene of a crash involving damage or to property, the bond will be set at $1,000.
So if the bond
No, I'll set the
stayed-
bond at $500 for the no valid.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Jose Olivas? Jose Olivas? This individual, does he meet the criteria for pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor, he does.
All right. Sir, you were arrested for charges of resisting an officer without violence and disorderly intoxication. There is probable cause for the charge. I will release you on pretrial release. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Good luck to you. Marlenas Ramos Vicente.
Good
you have two charges here, one for battery domestic violence and the other for obstructing an officer without violence. Found probable cause for both of them. The bond on the battery is set at $500, and you were to have no contact with the victim. Also, you have the obstructing an officer without violence. There's probable cause for that. Bond set at $500. I see that you're also on probation in 17 CF 4030 for delivery of cannabis more than 20 grams. I find that you have violated the conditions of your probation. On that case, your bond will be set at none. Public Defender's Office
Judge, it's my understanding.
is appointed to represent
Ms.
you.
Ramos is in,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Judge, I wasn't trying to cut you off. It's my understanding Ms. Ramos completed that probation. I wasn't able to verify that information in terms of the violation of probation. It's my understanding she completed that probation last month, or that probation ended. Can I see the JNS?
Is there anyone who can verify whether or not her probation has in fact ended?
I'm checking in our system now.
Thank you.
Your Honor, in our system, I do see that this case was closed on April 22nd.
All right. So there is no VOP outstanding. The case has been closed according to the state. So you just have those two charges that I spoke to you about earlier. Good luck to you. Wesley
Did you
Robertson.
appoint the public defender?
I did.
Yeah. No, not.
And if I didn't, then I'm saying it now. Public defender's appointed to represent you. Next case, Wesley Allen Robertson.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you were arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and felony battery or battery by strangulation. There is probable cause for the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond on the aggravated assault charge will be $3,500. Bond on the battery by strangulation will be $1,000. You are to have no contact with the victim. No contact means you're not to have any personal contact. You're not to contact them by phone, email, text messages, any sort of social media contact. And you are not to return to the location of 832 Whalebone Bay Drive, Kissimmee, Florida. Good
Your
luck
Honor.
to you.
Ma'am,
Oh,
could
wait,
I
he has-
say something,
does he have
please?
he has an open case.
Eight,
There's a
No, he
bond
doesn't have
ATR.
I have no bond with PTR.
I'm going to revoke the bond with PTR in the open misdemeanor case, 2018 MM 2785.
Is that his?
There's no bond on that case, Your Honor. I
You
was
had-
never arrested on any charge.
It looks
there.
like you had PTR on that case, so I'm revoking your PTR on that case. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor.
Carlos
can I
Alberto
speak,
Rosario?
please?
No, sir. Carlos Rosario? Public Defender's Office is
There's no
appointed
bond
to
on that
represent-
case.
She's revoking the ROR.
There was no ROR.
It's PTR.
I was never arrested on that case, Your Honor. But I was never arrested on that case.
The next case I have is Carlos Rosario.
She's revoking your status, the release status.
Mr. Rosario, you were arrested for a failure to appear. Your bond is set at $2,000. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Good luck, sir. And then, whoa, there's another one. There are two?
think it is two different case numbers, Judge.
There-
3180 and 3179.
Thank you very much. The bond on both of those will be $2,000 each. So in total, it's a $4,000 bond. The next case is Michael Salgado. And Mr. Salgado has two cases. Thank you. Mr. Salgado, you have been arrested on a charge of operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver license. There is probable cause for that arrest. The bond is set at $500, and the Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. You also have two charges for possession of a controlled substance without a prescription. Of course. Actually, it's possession of methamphetamine. And then the other charge is possession of drug paraphernalia. The possession of meth charge, there's probable cause, and there's also probable cause for the drug paraphernalia charge. As to count number 1, the bond is set at $1,000, $500 for count number 2. You are also out on bond in case number 19 CF1606. The bond in that case will be revoked, and the bond is set at none. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you on all your cases. Good luck, sir. Vicente Serrano Hernandez.
He needs the interpreter, Judge.
Spanish interpreter?
Yes, Judge.
I don't think we knew we need that. I'm going to have him have a seat, and I'll get back to him.
Okay. Have a seat. Serrano.
Can anyone here speak Spanish? Anyone? Nope. They'll be here? Okay. All right. Marina Shukalo? Ma'am, you were arrested for trespass in an occupied structure or conveyance. There is probable cause for the arrest. I see that you qualify for a pretrial release. The court will order that you be released on pretrial release. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Kayla
Your
Spikes?
Honor, would you be recommending mental health conditions as well?
I didn't see that on the, oh, I see. Pretrial release with mental health conditions. Hold on. The basis for the mental health condition, or mental health conditions are what? I must have overlooked them in the affidavit.
She was evaluated by a mental health officer, PTR officer, who found that she would qualify for a mental health, PTR with mental health conditions.
Defense would ask for just straight pretrial release, Judge. I don't see a nexus in the police report either.
It'll just be straight pretrial release. Kayla Spites. Does she have? Ms. Spites, you were arrested for battery. There's probable cause for the arrest. I'll set the bond at $500. You are to have no contact and not to return to the location of the arrest or the altercation 50 Altera Court. No contact means no personal contact, no social media contact, text messaging, emailing, no contact at all. Bond set at $500. Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you. Christopher Joseph
Judge, she does
Sullivan.
qualify for pretrial release and doesn't have any priors. Would the court consider straight pretrial release?
No. Christopher Sullivan.
Yes, ma'am, I'm right here, ma'am.
Mr. Sullivan, you were arrested for a charge of trespass on property. There is probable cause for the arrest. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. I will not put you on pretrial release. Your bond is set at $500. Next case. Last name Yu, Kwa Yu.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sir, you were arrested for battery. There is probable cause for the arrest. I do see here where you have been evaluated for pretrial release. I'm not going to grant pretrial release. Your bond will be set at $500, and you are to have no hostile contact with the victim. Public Defender's Office is appointed. Good luck, sir.
He's gonna hire,
He
he doesn't qualify, Judge, he's gonna hire private.
Okay. So Public Defender's Office won't be appointed. I said no hostile contact. Victim wants contact. Carlos Velez Montalvo.
Your Honor.
You've been arrested for battery. There's probable cause. I appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. I will not place you on pretrial release. Your bond is set at $500. And you are to have no contact with the victim, sir. Come back, come back. I'm not finished, come back. You are to have no contact with the victim. That means no personal contact, no social media contact, no contact via electronic means, email, or text messages. Good luck to you. Ladarius Wilson.
How you doing, Your Honor?
All right. Mr. Wilson, you have a charge of carrying a concealed firearm, possession of a weapon or ammunition by a convicted felon, use of a weapon during a felony, discharging a firearm in public, and harm to or threatening a public servant. There's probable cause for your arrests. As to the count number 1, carrying a concealed firearm, your bond is set at $1,000. Count 2, possession of a weapon by a convicted felon, bond set at $4,000. Count 3, use of a weapon during a felony, set at $1,000. Discharging a firearm in public, $500. Threatening to harm a public servant, the bond will be set at $2,500. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you.
He's got a duelist as well, Judge.
I'm sorry?
He has
Oh, I
a
heard
driving
you.
charge as well.
Yes. As to the driving while license suspended or revoked for the first offense, probable cause exists. PD appointed to represent you, bond set at $500. Jawan Leggett. Mr. Leggett, you were arrested on 4 out-of-county warrants for Polk County. Your bond total is set at $3,500. For the burglary of a conveyance, the bond is set at $1,000. For grand theft, set at $1,000. For fraud, set at $1,000. And for credit card fraud, it's set at $500. Good luck to you, sir.
I think there are 2 warrants, Judge. Is there another one for burglary and a petty theft?
Yes, there are. 2 other Polk County warrants, one for burglary of a conveyance, that'll be set at $1,000, and the other one is petty theft, set at $500. You state here, sir, that you are financially able to afford an attorney, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Public Defender's Office won't be appointed to represent you. Get in contact with your lawyer as soon as you can, sir. Next case is Johnny Medina.
I'm going to waive the reading of the charges, Judge.
I'm sorry?
Per the client's request, I'm waiving the reading of the charges.
He wants a waiver of the reading of the charges? I
Yes,
guess
Judge.
I'm not understanding what you're saying, Ms. Smith. Can you speak a little slower, I guess?
Yes, Judge.
It's just,
I'm sorry. That is what I'm saying. The client requested the reading of the charges be waived.
it's a domestic.
Okay.
What, the phone calls?
The bond, I do find that there's probable cause for the charge that he was arrested for. Bond set at $3,500. He's not to return to the scene of the altercation at 402 Simpson Road in Kissimmee. You are not to have any contact with the victim in this case. No contact means no personal contact, no social media contact, no emails, no text messages. And, sir, do you want the Public Defender's Office appointed to represent you?
Yes.
Public Defender's Office will be
Judge,
appointed.
For the no return, do you mean the no return to the underlying offense because that's the jail's address?
Sure, no return to, where is it? Boggy Creek Elementary
I think it's
School?
409, no, 409 Buttonwood.
No.
That's the original address of the domestic where the victim lives.
Okay. Hold on.
Yeah, this is violation of injunction.
Okay, then it's no return to 409 Buttonwood Drive in Kissimmee.
Yes.
And it looks like it was also 1205 West Vine Street.
Yes.
All right.
That's possible, Judge.
Thank you. Johnny Medina?
We just did him.
Torrance Williams?
Can we reset him, Judge? He's in under DR.
He will be reset. Alexander Edward Bakalitz?
Same thing, Judge. Can we reset him as well?
Yes, ma'am, he was reset from yesterday.
Yesterday.
Medical, is that the reason?
Yes, Judge.
All right. What about Odessia Devine?
She's present and approaching, Judge. Pretrial release was able to verify, I understand it's a failure to appear, that she was in the hospital at the time of the failure to appear, so we'd ask that she be released.
Do you have a trespass of an occupied structure on your affidavit as well?
I only have failure to appear, I don't have the underline. Do you have the underline charge on yours? Yes, Judge, trespass in a structure. Thank you.
Do you have that documentation with you today, Ms. Smith? Did your client give that to you, that she was in the hospital?
No, Judge, Ms. Hill with PTR provided me a note that said that, and she said she was able to verify it. I'm not sure how she verified it, though.
Is Ms. Hill there?
She went back to the office. We can grab her if you want to pass it.
Ms. Smith, what are you asking for? OR on her case?
Or a pretrial release or some type of release status, Judge.
What was her release on the trespass charge originally, before the failure to appear?
Did she post bond? Did you bond out when you came to jail the last time?
Excuse me?
Do you remember how you got out of jail the first time? Did you post a bond?
No.
No, Judge. PTR is asking if we can get Ms. Hill. Well, the PTR officer that's in here, he's asking to get Ms. Hill since she was the one that verified it.
Okay,
She's just next door.
all right. Is the Spanish interpreter available?
Good morning, Your Honor. The Spanish interpreter is on standby.
Thank you very much. I have Vicente Serrano Hernandez. Sir, well, doesn't he have to be sworn in then? Sir, have you been sworn? And this is for the Spanish interpreter. Have you been sworn?
Not yet, Your Honor.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to translate from English to Spanish, Spanish to English testimonies given?
I do. Carlos Morales, State Certified Spanish Court Interpreter.
Sir, are you Vicente Serrano Hernandez?
¿Es usted Vicente Serrano Hernández?
Sí.
Yes.
Sir, you were arrested on a charge of battery.
Usted fue arrestado por un cargo de agresión.
There is probable cause for the arrest. There is probable cause for the arrest.
¿Existe motivo fundado para el arresto?
I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
Y le voy a nombrar a los defensores públicos para que lo representen.
I see here that you meet the criteria for pretrial release, and I will place you on pretrial release. I see that you meet the criteria for pretrial release, so I will place you on pretrial release.
Veo que usted reúne los requisitos para poder salir bajo el Departamento de Libertad Provisional, así que le concederé salir bajo el Departamento de Libertad Provisional.
But you are to have no contact with the victim.
Pero le está prohibido el contacto con la víctima.
No contact means no personal contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact as well.
Prohibido el contacto quiere decir que está prohibido ya el contacto ya sea personal, por medio de terceros, por medio de uso de redes sociales, prohibido en absoluto.
Public Defender's Office is going to be appointed to represent you.
Y los defensores públicos han sido nombrados para representarlo.
Good luck to you, sir.
Buena suerte, señor. Your Honor, the interpreter would like to know, does there happen to be a case number for this case or not yet?
Not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Odessia Devine? Is Ms. Hill present now?
My understanding, Judge, from PTR is that the public defender that is assigned to Ms. Devine contacted PTR to inform them that she was in the hospital today or prior to today? Prior to today. But the warrant, I guess, had already been issued for the failure to appear, so they couldn't get it retracted.
Okay, and what was her bond status? What was her release status when she got the failure to appear?
There was a $500 bond.
I released Ms. Devine on pretrial release. And as a condition, she needs to provide documentation to pretrial release that she was actually in the hospital. And if she does not provide that documentation, then that'll be a violation of her pretrial release, and she'll have to deal with that at that time. But she needs to provide that documentation.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Is that all that I have?
Public Defender's Office remains.
Public Defender's Office remains. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right.
I believe that is it.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Your Honor, the interpreter would like to just request if there are any cases that have a case number, if you can please give the interpreter the case number as well, if they happen to have a case number. Thank you.
All right, we're here for IAs at Orange County Jail. First case I have is Andre Moreno Acosta.
That's what I have, Your Honor, too. Oh, and Courtney Daly from the Public Defender's Office.
And for the state?
Naomi Tovar.
All right, and I'm Judge Wilson, so where is Mr. Moreno Acosta? He's behind you. And the case number is 19 MM348AA. 19 MM348AA, as in Alpha Alpha.
Thank you.
Yes, abnormal BRC, so we should be on. Are you Andre Moreno Acosta?
See.
Yes.
Mr. Acosta, you were arrested on a charge of battery. There is probable cause. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is set at $500, and you are to have no contact with the victim. No contact means no personal contact, no social media contact, no contact through electronic means, email, or text messages. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, he has no criminal convictions. Would you be inclined to release him on pretrial release since he qualifies?
No, ma'am. Next case is Hector Perez. This is 19 CF 7612AO. Mr. Perez, you were arrested for purchase of cocaine and possession of cocaine. There's probable cause for the arrests. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you.
And Your Honor, we did qualify Mr. Perez for straight pretrial release. And Your Honor, he doesn't have any criminal history.
No criminal history at all?
No arrests
No arrests?
or convictions.
The court will release you, Mr. Perez, on pretrial release. Good luck to you. Next case is Enrique Gutierrez Spinal. He bonded, Your Honor. All right, he bonded. Yes, ma'am. Efren Roland. Mr. Roland, you have been arrested on a charge of false imprisonment and armed burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause to support the arrests. No bond on the armed burglary charge. The false imprisonment charge will have a bond of $100.
Your Honor, the defense would charge probable cause because the alleged battery occurred prior to the burglary, prior to intenting. I'd say there's no intent for him to commit a crime there in the structure. Additionally, the state has not filed their pretrial detention motion, and he's entitled to a bond unless you find proof evident presumption great. I would argue that proof evident presumption great isn't there because it's not clear that he entered the car with the intent to commit a battery. It's also not clear whether he was armed at the time of the offense. Therefore, there's not probable cause, and even if the court finds there is, proof evident presumption great is not there.
State?
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, the state would first argue that the court has already found that there is probable cause. And looking at the facts in the affidavit, there is probable cause to believe that he entered with the intent to commit a crime, possibly a battery. So, and also as well, just looking at the facts of the affidavit, the state would argue that there is, again, probable cause and proof evident presumption great, allowing the court to hold him on no bond.
I'm going to keep it as I stated before. The bond on the armed burglary with the battery will be set at $15,000 and $100 on the false imprisonment charge. The Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you.
I'm sorry, did you say no bond or? I thought I heard you say a monetary amount. What was the bond?
Oh, I said none. I'm sorry.
The no bond
It's
and then
none
1,000.
on the armed burglary and $100 on the other one.
We reserve our right to have a full Arthur hearing downtown.
Nelson Rodriguez? Does he qualify for pretrial release?
It doesn't say that he does, but I'll note that he doesn't have any criminal history.
No, he didn't qualify, Mr. Rodriguez. Usually with these type of cases, they offer a retained charge. He is a transit, we don't have any ties.
State? Well,
Yes, Judge,
let me just say this. Mr. Rodriguez, you were arrested for a charge of camping. And this would be case number 19MO1022. State, do you have a position regarding an offer on the case?
State would offer credit time served.
Aye.
I apologize.
Oh, yo firmé ese también.
On that one.
Here. Sorry.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Nelson, I have here a plea form. It has your name on it. Did you sign this plea form?
Sí, vuestro honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the plea form?
Sí, será, sí.
Well, yes.
The plea form is in Spanish. Do you read and understand Spanish?
Sí, y practicaré el inglés pronto.
Yes, and English soon.
Okay. And do you understand the nature of the charge that you're entering a plea to today?
See,
Yes.
It is a second-degree misdemeanor punishable by up to 60 days in jail and a $500 fine. That's not what you're getting today. You're going to be sentenced to time served, meaning you'll be released today. Do you understand that?
gracias por turno.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you understand that?
Sí,
Yes. Do you understand the rights that you're giving up?
sí,
Yes.
Do you understand that you're also giving up your right to appeal the judgment and sentence of the case?
sí.
Yes.
Has anyone forced you to enter a plea?
No,
No.
Has anyone threatened you in order to get you to plea?
no,
No.
Are you entering your plea freely and voluntarily?
gracias. Yeah,
There's a
Thank you.
fact.
Yes.
There is a factual basis to support the entry of the plea. How do you plead, sir? Guilty or no contest?
no me opongo.
No contest.
The court will accept your plea of no contest, sentence you to time served and your court costs. What's the
Vuestro honor.
division number?
Your Honor, I have a question.
Yes, sir?
It's my first time.
Does he still have a question, or did you?
No, I answered it.
Oh, okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Yes, I'll appoint the public defender's office because she helped him with his plea. But yeah, so the court costs will just be reduced to a civil judgment.
Do we have a Mandarin interpreter? Or are we resetting that one?
Do we have a Mandarin interpreter? Is that the language line? Yes.
We do. Oh, I know you don't speak Mandarin. That does not look like my.
Does he? He does not speak Mandarin.
No.
does he? Okay. Sir, are you Donovan Elijah Clark?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Clark, you were arrested on a charge of aggravated battery with a weapon involving domestic violence battery, and false imprisonment involving domestic violence. Is the victim here? No one's in the box. So there is probable cause to support the arrest in this case. You also have a violation of probation. As to the violation of well, the court will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. As to the violation of probation, the bond is set at none. As to the aggravated battery with the weapon, the bond will be set at $1,000, $100 for the battery charge, $3,000 for the false imprisonment charge. I think I said public defender's office is appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, sir.
Your Honor, the defendant also has reporting requirements, so once he's released from jail, he needs to report his address to DMV and the local sheriff's office.
Okay, is that something that needs to be a?
DOP.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Because he has a DOP, he has a fight, it's the charge.
Right.
Charges, so we just have to let him know that he needs to report his address to the sheriff's office.
Okay, sir, if you are released on bond, you do need to report your address to the sheriff's office once you are released. And no contact on the charge, it's the aggravated battery and the false imprisonment. There'll be no contact, meaning no physical contact, no third-party contact, and no contact via social media.
Your Honor, if you're ordering a do not return, we'd ask for a one-time return to retrieve his belongings with law enforcement.
I'll allow him a one-time return within 24 hours of his arrest to retrieve any belongings. Anthony Baruto?
Your Honor, all the Spanish cases are done, is that correct?
Yes. Right?
Okay.
Mr.
Okay, thank
Self,
you.
you don't need an interpreter on this case,
I
do you?
do not. No,
Okay.
Mr. Bruno speaks English perfectly.
All right. Are you Anthony Bruno Baruto? Yes. All right, Mr. Baruto, you have been charged with domestic violence battery. Not charged, you've been arrested on a domestic violence battery. I do find that there is probable cause to support the arrest. Is there a victim on this case?
I don't believe there is, Your Honor.
Mr. Self, do you wish to be heard regarding bond?
Yes, Your Honor. I would ask that my client be released to ROR or PTR in that Mr. Bruto has never been arrested previously. In addition to that, the allegations contained in the probable cause affidavit are specious at best. The victim in this particular case was being investigated for throwing rocks at my client's vehicle when she made the allegations that my client had struck her and chipped her tooth, but she had no other visible injuries. My client has agreed for the purposes of this pretrial motion to stipulate to probable cause, but would request an ROR. He understands that there'll be a no-contact order. I've explained to him what no contact means: no direct contact, no third-party contact, no social media contact, and then he's going to live with his parents. We would request a one-time return to the apartment with law enforcement to retrieve his items. The two also have children together, and they'll sort that out. We'll sort all that out downtown.
And Your Honor, we also did qualify Mr. Baruto for pretrial release. Even though the victim isn't present, we do have an alternate address that was verified by the parents.
All right, Mr. Baruto, you will be released on pretrial release. You are to have no contact with the victim in this case at this time, and I will give you 24 hours from your release in order to be able to retrieve your belongings.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. That's all I
Thank you.
have before
All
the
right,
court.
have a good day.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay. Willie Lee Kendrick. Are you Willie Lee Kendrick? Sir, are you Johnny Howell? Are you Richard Johnny Howell?
Junior.
Sir, you were arrested on a charge of criminal mischief. There is probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and your bond will be set at $250. Also, as a condition of your bond, you will have mental health conditions as well. Yes, counsel?
I was going to say that he has no criminal history and he qualified for pretrial release, so we asked that he be released on pretrial release.
No. Thank you. Kevin Mitchell? Did Mr. Mitchell refuse as well? Oh, no, this is Mr. Mitchell, okay. Mr. Mitchell, you were arrested on trespass on property after a warning and providing a false identification to law enforcement. There is probable cause to support your arrest on those charges. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. On the trespass, the bond will be set at $500. On the providing false ID, the bond will be set at $100. Good luck to you, sir. Chandranique McGee?
Yes. No.
Ms. McGee, you were arrested for simple trespass. There's probable cause to support the arrest. The Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Your bond will be set at $500. Good luck to you. I have Yahi Fan.
Yeah.
Is this the one who needs the?
Mandarin.
That's the Mandarin? Good morning, this is Judge Wilson. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, and are you our Mandarin interpreter?
Yes,
Have you been sworn today?
yes.
All right. This is in case number 19MM4449AO. Yahi
我这个是
Fan.
按，sorry，
Mr. Fan, you were arrested on a domestic oh,
I was wondering if we were gonna use the headsets. Are we not
no,
using the headsets? Okay.
I don't get so. Mr. Fan, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery.
那么你今天是因为家暴，那么所以被指控。
There is probable cause to support the arrest.
那么他们这个有证据去支撑他们对你的逮捕。
Do you want me to appoint the public defender's office to represent you?
你有想要我指派这个我们帮你指派一个律师来代表你吗？
可以，行。
Yes.
And sir, at this time, are you unable to afford an attorney?
自己有钱可以请律师吗？
没听清 ，Could you pardon please？
I cannot hear him. May I ask him to speak louder?
Can you speak? Oh, yes.
您需要大声一点，我听不到你说什么。
哦，刚刚没听清，就是翻译说的是什么？
Someone wants me to repeat your question. May I repeat it?
Yes, please.
你自己有钱可以请律师吗？
我想问一下，就是请不请律师有什么区别？
I wanted to know what's the differences of hiring an attorney or not.
Repeat that, Madam Interpreter.
I would like to know what's the differences between hiring attorney or not.
A public defender is an attorney. They are appointed by the court to assist and defend those individuals who do not have the financial means to be able to hire their own counsel.
那么
So,
公共辩护，sorry.
no, go ahead.
那么公共辩护人是如果说你自己没有足够的财务，那么可以去请一位帮你辩护的人的话，那么法院可以帮你指派一个公共辩护人。
So the person standing to your left is an attorney. She might not be the attorney assigned to this case, but there will be an attorney from her office who will be assigned to represent you.
那么你左边站的那位小姐就是律师，那她这个未必会被指派成是你的律师，但是她的办公室的其中一位律师会被指派作为你的律师。
She will represent you, or someone in her office will represent you, just like an attorney that you would pay. The only difference is you will not pay for that attorney from the public defender's office.
那么他会代表你，或者是他办公室的别位律师会代表你，那么就跟你自己花钱请律师一样，唯一的差别就是公共辩护人你是不需要花钱。
哦，那不用了，谢谢。
I don't quite understand him. May I ask him to clarify?
Yes, please.
不用了的，谢谢的意思是用他们帮你指派的意思吗？
就是不用律师了，就是。
不用律师。
I don't
I
need.
don't need I do not need an attorney.
Okay. I will not appoint the public defender's office for you at this time. There is someone here. Ma'am, what is your name?
那么我不会帮你指
Can she
派
hear in
公
there?
共辩护人。
He needs an interpreter, the Mandarin, just speaking to the mic.
I don't she speaks Mandarin too. I don't know if the interpreter can.
Can she come in here and stand there? Yes or no? No? Okay. Can she hear in there? Okay. So, ma'am, what is your name? And this lady here needs an interpreter. This is the alleged victim in the case? So, ma'am, what is your name?
请问你的名字是？Sorry, Your Honor, I cannot hear anything.
She didn't say anything. Ma'am, what is your name?
刘佳彤。
Okay.
刘家彤。
And how do you know Mr. Fan?
你是怎么认识这位先生的？
我们怎么认识？我可以请一名律师吗？
Can I hire attorney?
公共律师。
Can I have a assigned public defender?
No, ma'am. You're not the defendant, so you don't need an attorney. You're the victim in this case. So, are you here? Do you want to have contact with this gentleman if he is released on a bond?
你并不是这个被告，那么你是这一个案件的受害人，那所以你并不需要一个律师来代表你辩护。那你跟他之间，如果他被保释的话，你希望跟他有接触吗？
希望。昨天是一个误会。我跟我的老公非常相爱。
Yes, I do. Yesterday it was just misunderstanding. We loved each other very much.
I'll take that as a yes.
所以我会把它当成是回答是。
Do you all live together?
我们是住在一起吗
Yes， 是的。
？Yes.
All right. Sir, your bond will be set at $500. You were to have no hostile contact with the victim. That means no physical fighting and no aggressive behavior toward her. Good luck to you.
那么你的保释金是500块钱，那么你对跟受害人不可以有肢体上的接触，或者是具攻击性的接触。那么祝您好运。
谢谢。那我可以现在跟我的丈夫说话了吗？
Can I talk to my husband now?
Not right now, no ma'am.
现在
什么？
不是现在。
什么时候？
All right. Thank you very much.
什么时候？
She said when?
When? Meaning when for what? Like,
When
well,
can she talk to her husband?
when he gets out of jail. When
他
he,
离开监狱。
well, no, you could probably, can he, can
请
she
问我
talk to
什么
him
时候
like
可以
today?
就是见到跟我丈夫说话？
No? Okay, when he gets out of jail, you'll be able to talk to him.
啊？
When he gets out of jail, you'll be able to talk to him.
他出狱之后，你就可以跟他说话。
什么时候可以出狱？
When will he be out of jail?
When he posts the bond.
他付了保释金之后。
什么时候可以付保释金？
When can he pay for the bond?
I couldn't hear you.
When can he pay for the bond?
You'll pay for the bond if you want him out because he doesn't have his money now. So if you find a bail bondsman, they can help you getting him out of jail.
他现在身上没有钱，如果你想要保释他的话，你需要去找保释官那边去保释他，所以他们就可以让他出狱。
最快可以多久？
我听不到你说什么。
最快可以多久保释出来？大概需要几个小时？
It takes approximately how many hours to bail him out?
Oh, ma'am, I don't know, but thank you very much. This matter is
我不知道这个
over. Thank you. The next case is Anthony Judon.
那个
Is there anything else I can do for you, Your Honor?
No, I'm done with that young lady. I'm on the
Thank you
next
so much
case.
for-
Thank you very much, Madam Interpreter.
Thank
Mr. Judon? In the hospital. What about Corey Newton? Mr. Newton? Sir, you were arrested on a charge of criminal mischief greater than $1,000 and battery. There is probable cause to support your arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. And the bond on the criminal mischief will be set at $500, $100 on the... Has the victim been notified on this case? Or have you had any contact with the victim?
No victim contact made at this time, Your Honor.
Right.
The victim.
The bond will be set at $500 on the battery charge. You were to have no contact with the victim.
So is that 500 on both counts then?
Yes, ma'am. Lilette Ramirez? Ms. Ramirez, you have been arrested on a charge of child abuse. There's probable cause to support the charge. I will set the bond at $1,000. You are to have no hostile contact with the child. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Good luck to you. Jennifer Ramos? You have been charged with aggravated or arrested on a charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and child abuse. There is probable cause to support the arrests. I will set the bond on the aggravated battery charge at $3,500, and on the child abuse charge, I will set that at $500. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you.
Your Honor, she has no criminal history. Would you consider reducing the bond on the first count?
Say it again?
She has no criminal history, not even an arrest. Would you consider reducing the bond amount on the first count?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Shay Smith? And no contact. Mr. Smith, you are arrested on a charge of grand theft motor vehicle. Dating violence, battery, and criminal mischief.
Your Honor, may we be heard on PC on this one?
Yes.
Your Honor, we would challenge probable cause for the criminal mischief. There's no testimony in the four corners of the affidavit that he did something to intentionally damage the car. There's only testimony that the car is damaged and that he was driving it. We don't know if that was incidental or intentional. Therefore, there's no probable cause for the criminal mischief.
State?
The state would argue that there is probable cause for the criminal mischief. As was noted, the defendant was driving, the pole was right next to the house where the car was, so based on the affidavit, the state would argue that there is probable cause.
All right, I do find that there is probable cause on all three of the charges. On the first count, the bond will be $1,500, $500 on the battery, dating violence, and $100 on the criminal mischief charge. Public Defender's Office, if I didn't say so before, is appointed to represent you. And no contact with the victim. This is he? Oh, I'm sorry, thank you. So is he still there? Like I would switch over to Osceola? Or I just tell you? Okay, he was never arrested or out on any type of release conditions. He was given a notice to appear, his plea date. Okay, well then, tell them that that's the man that was the bald head man. Okay, so just, I'll vacate the order revoking the pretrial release, because there's nothing for them to, if he wasn't on, he was given a notice to appear. So I should have just listened to him the first time. Yeah, I'm not gonna do. Well, I was ready to move on to the next one, so, you know, just. Okay, so he does not qualify for the PD. Ethan Allen Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested on aggravated battery charges. There is probable cause to support the arrest in the affidavit. You do not qualify for the public defender's office, so I won't be able to appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You'll have to hire private counsel. Is there a victim here?
Yes.
Ma'am, what is your name?
Shanae Williams.
And Ms. Williams, how do you know Ethan Allen Williams?
He's my husband.
Okay. And do you wish for him to be released?
Yes, I do.
All right. What type of criminal history does Mr. Williams have, if any?
Okay, Your Honor, he has no Florida convictions or arrests. He does have out-of-state convictions for DUI, dwellers, giving false ID to law enforcement officer, furnishing to purchase, possession by persons below legal age of alcoholic beverages.
Does he have any failures to appear?
No, ma'am.
Does he have any violations of bond conditions?
No, ma'am.
All right, I will set a bond in your case, Mr. Williams, at $1,000, I'm sorry, $500. You are to have no hostile contact with the victim in that case. That means you can have contact, you can return to the residence. Miss Williams, are you afraid of your husband?
No.
All right. No hostile contact, meaning no verbal arguments, no aggressive behavior, but you can have contact. Good luck to you. Can return. I didn't mean to say, if I said can't, I meant can. Next case is Kimberly Ann Bradley. Are you Miss Bradley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Good morning. Afternoon. Miss Bradley, you were arrested on domestic violence battery charge.
Yes.
There's probable cause to support the arrest. Has there been contact with the victim?
Yes, Your Honor. Victim states that he would appear for court.
He would,
He would appear for court, but he's not here. And she's also on active probation for grand theft.
what's the case number? Do you have it?
Yes, Sean, I have it. 2017 CF 10434.
10434 AO?
Yes, ma'am. It's an Orange County case.
I'll grant a $500 bond on the battery domestic violence. You are to have no contact with the victim in the case. Probation is still active on this 17 case.
Yes, ma'am. It expires December of 2019, December 10th. So a warrant may come through.
Ms. Bradley, on the 17 CF 10434 AO case, the court will revoke your, will violate you or see an on-site violation of probation on this case. So you will be violated on that probation. Your bond will be set at none.
Is the public defender appointed on both those cases?
I'm sorry?
Is the public defender appointed on both of those cases?
Yes, ma'am, you are. Jeffrey Fluker? Are you Jeffrey Antonio Fluker? Mr. Fluker, you were arrested for domestic violence battery and resisting an officer without violence. I find that there is probable cause to support your arrests. Ma'am, are you here on Mr. Fluker's case?
Yes.
And what is your name?
Keisha Curry.
And how are you related to Mr. Fluker?
That's my husband.
Okay. And Ms. Fluker, why are you here today? Or what would you like for me to know today?
Hopefully release him.
Do you want him to come home?
Yes, of course.
Are you afraid of him?
No, I'm not.
Do you want to have contact with him?
Yes.
Sir, I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Do you want the Public Defender's Office to represent you, sir? Okay. I will appoint that office. I will set your bond at, well, what kind of record does Mr. Fluker have,
Okay, Your Honor.
if any?
Yes, he was released from DOC 2013 for a robbery charge. He has 5 felonies, no misdemeanors, 1 failure to appear, which his last failure to appear was February of 2004. 4 DOC incarcerations. He does have 2 Florida convictions for robbery. No out-of-state history.
Sir, I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. You are to have no hostile contact with your wife. And public defense, No, $1,000 on the battery, and then $500 on the resisting. No hostile contact, and Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent him. Seth Hunter? Are you Seth Hunter?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Hunter, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery. There is probable cause in the affidavit to support the arrest. Do you want me to appoint the Public Defender's Office? Do you want me to appoint an attorney to represent you? Or do you want to hire an attorney? You're going to hire an attorney? All right. I see there's someone in the box here. Ma'am, what is your name?
My name is Terry Alves Hunter.
And how are you related to Mr. Hunter?
I am his wife.
Okay. And are you the victim in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you wish to have Mr. Hunter home?
I don't want to see him stay in jail, but I don't want him around me right now.
Okay, so you want no contact?
We have to have contact. We have a child, and he has special needs, so he does need to hear from his dad.
Okay.
But after what happened, I'm afraid.
Ma'am, do you need to have contact with Mr. Hunter in order to be able to care for your child?
Yes.
Well, because the victim states that she needs assistance from Mr. Hunter, I will allow no hostile contact. No hostile contact, sir, means you can have contact with her, you can talk to her. Obviously, she needs assistance, she needs assistance with your child. But you are to have no hostile contact, meaning there should be no physical contact with her. You are not to have any aggressive behavior toward her. Do you have any questions about that? No, okay. Sir, your bond will be set. What kind of record does he have, if any?
Okay, Your Honor, he has no, because he lives out of state, no Florida convictions. He does have an out-of-state history out of Texas for an assault causing bodily injury. That was back in '97, but that case was ROR. And that's it.
I'll set your bond at $750 with the condition that he have no hostile contact with the victim in this case. Sir, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible, okay? Because I'm not appointing one to represent you, so you want them to get on your case as soon as possible. Good luck to you. The next case is Sarah Ashley Krejnik.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Krejnik, you were charged here with domestic violence battery.
Yes, ma'am.
There is probable cause to support the arrest. You do not qualify for the public defender's office, Ms. Kreshnick, so you're going to have to hire an attorney to represent you. Your bond in this case, have you had contact with the victim in this case?
Yes, Your Honor, the victim was supposed to appear for court. He was
Any-
given the time and location.
Okay, any criminal history?
She has battery back in 2011. I don't know who disposition is on that case. And that's her only history, no failure to appear, no out of state.
I'll set your bond at $750 and you are to have no contact with the victim. Good luck to you. Ashley Maldonado Perez.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Perez, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery.
Yes, ma'am.
There is probable cause to support the arrest. Do you have any criminal history on Ms. Maldonado Perez?
No priors, Your Honor, no current history.
All right, would she qualify for pretrial release?
We did not qualify. First, the victim is not here. We don't have an alternate address. Both victim and defendant reside together, Your Honor.
All right.
If she provided an alternative address, would the court be inclined to put her on pretrial release?
Yes.
And that, we need to verify that as
And that just needs to be verified. I mean, she just can't say she lives at 123 Main Street and get out.
Your Honor, if she does provide an alternate address, the state would just request that bond be set in case she doesn't qualify for PTR.
So I'll set the bond at $500
Or PTR if she
or
qualifies?
PTR if she qualifies. So you give the address to pretrial release, and if it's verified, then you'll be released on pretrial release if you qualify. No contact. Shy Rios. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Rios, you were arrested on a charge of domestic violence battery.
Yes, ma'am.
There's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the public defender's office to represent you. Does Ms. Rios have any prior criminal history?
Your Honor, she has no prior history. We did qualify Ms. Rios for straight pretrial release, but we do not have an alternate address and the victim isn't present. So if you wanted to do bond or PTR, it qualifies for Ms. Rios.
I'll set the bond at $500, but if Ms. Rios qualifies for pretrial release, then she can be released on pretrial release.
Your Honor, she's indicated that he's already moved out of the residence.
Okay,
So
well,
I was gonna ask to-
once that's verified, then she can get on pretrial release.
PD appointed?
I'm sorry?
Is the PD appointed?
PD is appointed, and no contact with the victim. I thank y'all so much for, you have no idea. Thank you, thank you. Veronica Santana?
Mental health, Your Honor.
Mental health, thank you. And so that's all of the domestic violence batteries, I'm assuming? Thank you. Next case is Steve Augustin.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, there is probable cause in the charging affidavit to support the arrest for sale and delivery of cocaine and possession of cocaine. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. Your bond on the sale and delivery will be set at $15,000, $150 on the possession of cocaine charge. Good luck to you, sir. Alexander Castillo. I have two charges here, one for failure to appear.
I don't think I have Castillo.
Oh,
Did they bond?
no, he is not here. Nobody is standing there. So we'll just have him reset for tomorrow.
He may have bonded.
He may have bonded?
Yes.
1901-6025.
He bonded out in here.
Thank you. Robert Cottrell.
That's the next one I have.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Cottrell, you were arrested on a charge of battery on a person 65 years or older. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Any contact with the victim on this case?
No, Your Honor.
Bond will be set at $2,500, and you are to have no contact with the victim. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Juan
Thank you, ma'am.
Juan Crispin.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Mr. Crispin.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm right.
Good. Sir, you were arrested on a charge of possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis, and violation of a county ordinance. I find that there's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond on the possession of methamphetamine charge is $1,000, $100 each on the remaining three charges. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Jose Gonzalez? Sir, are you Jose Manuel Gonzalez?
Yes, ma'am.
You were arrested on battery on a security officer. There is probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is set at $2,500, and you are to have no contact with the victim. Good luck, sir. Evelyn's, no. There's another charge here. Can you bring him back, please, sir? Sir, you also have a violation of probation. So in that case, your probation will, and that's out of Broward County, your probation is set at 0. Or, I'm sorry, your bond is set at 0. Dakota Hall.
I don't have.
They wasn't on our list, Your Honor. Hold on, Your Honor. Bonded.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ming Hong Lee. Sir, you're charged with, or arrested on a charge of possession of tetrahydrocannabinols, possession of cannabis less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause to support the arrests. I will appoint the Office of the Public Defender to represent you. On the count one, your bond will be set at $1,000, $100 each on the following two counts. You also were out on bond for grand theft, third-degree motor vehicle in case number 19 CF 7593AO.
May I be heard? on
You
that?
you were on pretrial release for that, yes?
We have a different case number, 2019 CF 4009AO. That's for the grand theft third degree.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was
19 CF 4009.
AO, yes.
Could I be heard on that case?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, that case has no information filed yet. It's been well over 33 days since that charge. He was arrested for that charge on March 22nd, 2019, so we'd ask that you take no action. So we would just file a 33-day motion once you revoke this bond today.
I'm sorry?
Okay,
No, you don't have to explain it, but what was your quip at the end?
we would, if you were to revoke his bond, we would
Oh,
just
the
end up
threat.
filing
Oh,
a-
okay, I got you.
Okay, say no information's been filed, so there's.
I got it.
Yeah, okay.
Trust me, I got it.
Sorry.
But I can promise you, there's absolutely no need, counsel, for you to make the veiled threat to the court on what you're going to do. You have a job to do as a public defender.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have a job to do.
Yes.
So you do yours and I'll do mine, but I don't have to sit here and tell you what I'm going to do if you do X or not. And you don't have to do the same for me. Are we clear?
Yes.
Good. State, on Mr. Lee's charge, the grand theft charge, it looks as if has that case been filed on yet?
No, Judge. It looks like he was arrested on March 21st, and there was a conditional release, zero bond, but there haven't been any charges formally filed yet. And
Okay.
state would ask that you revoke.
I'm sorry?
State would ask that you revoke any PTR bond.
It looks like it. Because the 33 days applies if he was in custody. He's not in custody here. So he was on pretrial release for the grand theft charge. So on the grand theft charge, the court is not going to take any action, Mr. Lee, regarding that particular charge. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you on that case. Good luck to you. Jeremy Lloyd. Sir, you were charged or arrested on a charge of possession of 3,4-methylene deoxymethamphetamine. There's probable cause to support the arrest. The Public Defender's Office is appointed. Your bond will be set at $1,000. Good luck to you. Blue Milstead. I'm sorry, Blake Milstead. Mental health, thank you, ma'am. Thomas Harrison O'Keefe. Mr. O'Keefe, you were arrested on a charge of driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. There's probable cause to support your arrest. Do you want the Public Defender's Office to represent you?
I've got to hire a lawyer.
You're going to hire an attorney, all
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Your bond will be set at $2,500. Good luck to you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Jacob Daniel Perez. Are you Jacob Daniel Perez?
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you were arrested on charges of possession of heroin with intent to sell and deliver, possession of heroin, possession of Xanax, possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. State.
Yes, Judge?
Talk to me about the possession of heroin with intent to sell and deliver and possession of heroin. Are we talking about the same drugs?
On the possession of heroin with intent and then the second count?
Yes, ma'am.
One moment, Judge.
Oh, no, I see it. I'm sorry. Okay. There is probable cause, sir, to support the arrest on those counts. Bond on the possession of heroin with intent to sell and deliver is $15,000. On the heroin, Xanax, and cocaine possession charges, those are each set at $150. $100 on the drug paraphernalia charge. There are two other cases, sir, that you have, one in Division 85 and a case in Division 15, where you are out on bond. In Division 85, you're out on bond on a battery charge, case number 19MM526AO. In Division 15, you're out on bond on possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, resisting without violence, resisting a merchant, and petty theft battery in 19 CF 5660AO. Your bonds in both of those cases will be set at none.
No information's been filed in the CF case.
I'm sorry?
I just wanted to note for the record that no information's been filed in the CF case.
When was he arrested?
I don't have the date. I know it's been over.
April 22nd, I believe.
I'll take no action on the CF case. Bond will be revoked on the battery case. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Dylan Robertson. Is- Mr. Robertson, you've been arrested on a charge of aggravated assault with a firearm. State, talk to me about probable cause on this case, the aggravated assault charge.
I am looking for, oh, just a moment, Judge. based on what is written in the affidavit, and statements by the victim, the defendant did present, and make visible a firearm and then threaten to shoot and kill the victim.
Oh, I see. Robertson presented a firearm and threatened to shoot and kill. All right. Sir, there's probable cause to support the arrest for aggravated assault with a firearm. Bond will be set at $2,500. You are to have no contact with the victim in that case. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you.
I should have a lawyer.
You already have an attorney to
I should have a
represent you?
lawyer.
I'm sorry?
I should have a lawyer. Mr. Abrams, I don't know why he hasn't appeared today.
Okay. Well, the Public Defender's Office will not be appointed to represent you. You're represented by Mr. Abrams? Is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You also have 8 violations of probation out of Volusia County.
Mm-hmm.
All 8 of those are set at no bond. And for purposes of, I guess, the record, I have court case numbers for Volusia: 1711101, 1710523, 1710486, 1611867, 1611775, 2018196986, and 1811204. All of those have a no bond. Good luck to you, sir. Otha Lee Shepherd? All right. Mr. Shepherd, you are charged with trafficking in more than 10, less than 200 grams of 3,4-methylene deoxymethamphetamine. There's probable cause to support that arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is set at $100,000. Good luck to you, sir. Edward Kimball Starcher.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you're charged or arrested on a charge of burglary of a structure and grand theft 3rd degree. There's probable cause in the arrest warrant. Bond set at $2,500 on the burglary of a structure, $1,000 on the grand theft. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Good luck, sir. Michael Tomlin. Did he bond out?
1901. I don't think he
Right. Misdemeanor non-pleables. First one is Brian Courtney Scott. Are you Brian Courtney Scott? All right. Mr. Scott, you have a failure to appear. Your bond is set at none. You have a city ordinance violation for urinating or defecating in public. There's probable cause for that charge. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. Bond set at $250. Good luck to you, sir. Shailene Atwell. Ms. Atwell, you have an arrest for driving while license suspended or revoked. There's probable cause to support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Your bond is set at $500. Cody Greer Kellen. Sir, there is probable cause to support the arrest for driving under the influence. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Bond is set at $500 on that case. On 19 CT 1063 AW, where you posted a $500 cash bond for refusal to another charge, refusal to submit to a blood alcohol test, the bond will be revoked. New bond set at $2,500. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. And that's on 19 CT 1063 AW. Dion Martinez? Thank you. Andre Acevedo Vega? State, are you prepared to make an offer on, or can you make an offer on the drug paraphernalia charge? He violated his OR bond.
On who, I'm sorry?
He bonded out on April 26th. Actually, he was OR'd.
Is this Mr. Acevedo?
Yes. On a paraphernalia charge, and the current charge for his arrest is a trespass in an occupied structure.
Oh, I see. I just didn't have the possession. At this time, I was not prepared with an offer.
All right. Sir, you were arrested on a charge of trespass in an occupied structure. There is probable cause to support that arrest. Your bond will be set at $500. On case number 2019 MM 3157, possession of drug paraphernalia, you were released on your own recognizance on August 26th. Your OR will be revoked. Your new bond is set at $1,500. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you on both of those cases.
Mr. Acevedo would like to know if he could resolve his trespass today.
State, can he resolve the trespass today?
Just a moment. Sure. The state would extend a credit time served offer on the trespass.
I was just gonna wait till the end. I didn't. What did I say now? Did anyone ever tell you you look just like Kurt Russell? No? Are y'all related like cousins? Third cousins? What you do, you remind me of her. Okay.
Does the state have an offer on the paraphernalia? I think we addressed this. He was just asking.
No, they don't. She was not ready to do that one today.
Okay, thank you. So they're not gonna include it, okay. They'll just have to bond out.
Are you Andre Acevedo? Okay, I'm gonna need you to speak up a little bit louder for me, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And Mr. Acevedo, my understanding is that you want to enter a plea today to the trespass charge, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have been given a plea form. It has your name at the top. Did you sign it there at the bottom?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read the plea form?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the rights that you're giving up?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the nature of the charge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the difference between a plea of guilty, no contest, and not guilty?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you understand the maximum penalty for this second-degree misdemeanors that is punishable by up to 60 days in jail and up to a $500 in a fine?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to get you to plea today?
No, Your Honor.
All right. If you are not a United States citizen, do you understand that by entering a plea today could result in you being subjected to deportation proceedings?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, and do you understand that if you are on probation in another case, by entering a plea today, this plea could be used to violate your probation? Do you understand that? All right. And sir, do you wish to enter a plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And how do you plead? Guilty or no contest? A guilty plea admits to the crime. A no contest plea says you neither admit nor deny.
No contest, Your Honor.
There's a factual basis in the file to accept the no contest plea. I find that you are entering the plea freely and voluntarily and that no one has forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter the plea. The court will adjudicate you guilty and order that you serve time served in custody. All court costs will be reduced to a civil judgment, and the other charge, the drug paraphernalia charge, the bond is set at $1,500. Good luck to you, sir. Jeb Bachman. Mr. Bachman, you have been arrested on a charge of stalk. Are you Jeb Bachman?
Yes, ma'am.
You've been arrested on a charge of stalking. There's a factual basis in the file to support the charge or to support probable cause for the charge. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Has there been any contact with the victim?
No, Your Honor.
You are to have no contact with the victim, and your bond will be set at $1,000. Good luck to you, sir. The next case is Zulika Bruno. No.
Your Honor, would you please put the victim's name on the record? He's indicating you don't know who that is.
I'm sorry?
Would you please put the victim's name on the record so he knows who not to have contact with?
Vivian Dunbar, who was working at the Dollar Tree on 436 in Altamont Springs. Zulika Bruno did what?
She refused, Your Honor.
Okay, Ms. Bruno refused. David Scott Grigsby. All right, Mr. Grigsby, you were arrested on a charge of petty theft. There's probable cause to support the charge or support the arrest. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. State, do you have an offer in this case?
At this time, I did not have an offer, Judge.
Sir, your bond will be set at $250. Good luck to you. LaWanda McKay. Are you LaWanda McKay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. McKay, you were arrested on a charge of petty theft, retail petty theft. There is probable cause to support the charge. Your bond is set at $500, and I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. State, do you have an offer on this case?
I do
It's
not.
what? Why? It is, isn't it? Nope, she does not. Your bond is set at $500.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Amanda Lee Rayburn.
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Rayburn, you were arrested on a charge of retail petty theft.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess I added this right. There is probable cause to support the arrest. The bond is set at $500.
Yes, ma'am.
Next case is Jamar Saez. Are you Jamar Saez?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir, you were arrested on a charge of retail petty theft. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Your bond is set at $500, and I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. What's the status of the grand theft, heroin charge, burglary to an unoccupied conveyance?
Your Honor, no information's been filed in that case. My note says it's been over 33 days, but I'll give you the arrest date. Just give me a moment.
State?
I have the arrest date as April 22nd, and there haven't been any charges yet.
All right, I will take no action on that. Good luck to you, sir. Jason Severino?
This is Severino.
All right, Mr. Severino, you have been arrested on a charge of possession of drug paraphernalia and possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis. There's probable cause to support the arrest. Your bond on the paraphernalia charge will be set at $500. And your bond on the cannabis charge will be set at $250. What's the status of the prior cannabis and paraphernalia charge?
No information's been filed. Arrest date is 4/11/2019.
State?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, no action on the drug charges. Eric Paul Turk? Are you Mr. Turk?
Hello?
Hello. Mr. Turk, you were arrested on for trespass after a warning and a conveyance in a store,
Yeah, in a store, yeah.
in Publix.
Was it-
There's probable cause to support the arrest. Bond set at $500, and I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
We did qualify Mr. Turk for straight pretrial release. He has no failure to appear, no felonies, no incarcerations, 7 misdemeanors. His Florida convictions consist of resisting without violence, trespass, violation of an injunction for protection, and no out-of-state history.
Those were convictions or arrests?
Convictions, ma'am.
And you say he does qualify?
Yes, ma'am.
Were those arrests, how recent were those arrests?
The last arrest was back in 2017. And that was for trespass.
No failures to appear?
None, no, Your Honor.
No other violations of some sort of control?
No.
All right, sir, I will release you on pretrial release. Good luck to you.
Release me on what, ma'am?
I'm sorry? You're gonna have pretrial release? Jawan Williams. Does not qualify.
What's me? That's the lead?
Are you Jawan Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, you were arrested on a charge of trespass on property after a warning?
Your Honor, I have a probable cause challenge. In the arrest affidavit, it says trespass after warning. There's no testimony in the four corners of the affidavit that he was asked to leave. On this type of charge, someone has to ask someone to leave, and then they refuse to leave. There's nothing in the four corners.
State?
Yes, Your Honor. I do see here that, the manager wished to trespass. I'm sorry, one moment. I see here that it looks like the defendant offered statements that he had already been trespassed and told not to return, and that he refused. So, state, would argue that there is probable cause.
Just with his statement alone?
Well, and the call from the manager, Mr. Torres.
There's no probable cause to support this arrest. So you're
Say-
released OR. All right, so where are we now? James Adam Torres.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Could be better, but
Could be
okay.
better.
Thank you.
Looks like he has an out-of-county warrant. Sir, you have a warrant out of Volusia County.
Yes.
The bond is set at none. Oh, it's just one? It's good luck to you. They'll send you to Volusia County. Okay.
Thank you.
Reset for IA judge. Oh, Ameth Feck? Are you Mr. Feck? No. She refused. Are you Kelly Gooden?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
For procedural history, this was reset from yesterday because Judge Ashton said that there was no probable cause for the burglary and the state was to provide a supplemental.
Thank you.
Your Honor, I did not receive any supplemental affidavit.
And so there was no probable cause found as to the burglary charge?
Yes.
All right, so he will be OR'd on the burglary charge. On the possession of paraphernalia, the bond is set at $100. Bond is set at $100 on the trespass. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent him.
Thank you.
Thank you. Donta Rucker? That you?
Excuse me, Your Honor, I just want to make sure, so Amethyst Feck, where she's refused, she's for tomorrow?
Amethyst Feck refused today. She's for tomorrow.
Okay.
Did she refuse yesterday? Is that like a second refusal?
Yes, Judge.
So this is refusal number 2? Do y'all know I'm gonna set them 3 times? Just keep setting them. Okay, well, she'll be back up tomorrow, I guess. All right, Mr. Rucker. Sir, you have an arrest for battery on a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer with violence, resisting without violence, and being in the park after hours. I find probable cause on the resisting with, the resisting without, and being in the park after hours. State?
Your Honor, right now I don't see a battery on law enforcement officer. I'd request 24 hours to see if I can obtain a supplemental affidavit.
I'll give you 24 hours on the battery on a law enforcement officer. I don't see probable cause for that arrest in this particular statement myself. Bond on the resisting with is $150. Bond on the without is $100. Bond on being in the park after hours is $100. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Amanda Street, Okay, so.
Why is she back? Because it looks as if Judge Ashton, why was it reset? It looks as if he already set. Was she IO'd yesterday?
All right, are you Amanda Lee Street?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Street, it looks like you have a failure to appear for a charge on possession of cocaine and resisting without violence. Did he set an amount yesterday? Is that why we have that here?
Your Honor, I looked up the warrant. I looked up the warrant, and the bond amount was set at $1,500 on the first count, $500 on the second count, and $250 on the third count.
Okay. So your bond is set at $1,500 on the possession of cocaine charge, and then $500 on the resisting without. And then what's the status of the destruction of evidence, possession of paraphernalia, and trespass after a warning charge?
No information's been filed.
When was she arrested?
I'm looking that up now, Judge.
Okay.
Oh, it says on the face sheet, the date of arrest is April 2nd.
So I'll take no action on that. Good luck to you. And then she has this one. No. All right, so this is 19 CF 7575 AO. And in that case, you have a possession of cocaine, a resisting without violence, and a possession of drug paraphernalia. All right. There's probable cause to support your arrest on those counts. On the cocaine charge, your bond is $1,000, $500 on the resisting without, and $500 on the paraphernalia charge. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. Good luck to you, Ms. Street.
She's out on bond.
Is it a different case, or?
I'm not gonna take any action on whatever she was out on bond.
Okay.
Carlos, thank you, Vero. Carlos Andre
Torres Cardona.
Cardona.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir, you have a you have two charges. First is retail theft greater than $300. I find there's probable cause to support that charge. Public defender will be appointed to represent you.
Excuse
Bond
me.
is set at $1,000. On the retail theft, 19 CF 7505. There's probable cause to support that arrest. Bond set at $1,000. Public defender appointed to represent you on that charge as well. Good luck to you, sir. Diamond Lachey Wary.
Yes.
Ms. Weary, you have a violation of probation. In that case, your bond is set at none. Public Defender's Office will be appointed to represent you. Good luck, Ms. Weary. Curtis Tyrone Young. Thank you. Anthony Reyes Fierro. Thank you. It'll be reset. Nelson Figueroa. That's you, sir? Sir, you have a charge of disorderly conduct. There's probable cause to support the disorderly conduct charge. The bond will be set at $250. As to the resisting and 2 paraphernalia charges, the bond will be set at OR. Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. Ernesto Enrique Medina, is that you, sir? Sir, you were arrested on a charge of disorderly conduct. There's probable cause to support that arrest. The bond is set at $250. I will appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you. Counsel, what's the status of the Division 19 felonies?
No information's been filed. March 19th, 2019 is your date of arrest.
All right. We'll take no action on the felony charge. Good luck to you. Dio Rusi. Carlos Sands.
I don't have that.
1901-6087.
Gregory Trowbridge.
Bonded. Oh, I'm sorry. He's right here.
Okay. All right, are you Gregory Trowbridge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir, you have a county ordinance violation of soliciting without a permit. It's probable cause to support the arrest.
Is there an offer from the state?
Credit time served.
If you want to take that on, do you understand?
So is this the man who I think it is, so, okay. Okay. Ain't him. Didn't want to see us today. Thank you, ma'am. Sir, are you Gregory Trowbridge?
Yes, ma'am.
I've been handed a plea form that has your name at the top. Is that your signature?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you read the plea form?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the charge that you're pleading to today?
Yes.
Sir, do you understand the difference between a plea of guilty, no contest, and not guilty?
Yes.
And do you understand the rights that you're giving up by entering a plea today?
Yes.
Do you understand the maximum penalties that this would carry?
Yes.
Up to 60 days in jail, up to a $250 fine?
Yes.
Okay. Sir, are you under the influence of any drugs, medication, or alcohol?
No.
Has anyone forced, threatened, or coerced you to get you to enter a plea today?
No.
Do you understand that by entering this plea today, if you are not a United States citizen, you will be subjected, or you could be subjected to deportation proceedings? Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand that if you enter a plea of guilty or no contest today and you are on probation, that this plea will be used to violate the terms of your probation?
Yes.
And do you still wish to enter a plea today?
Yes.
And so how do you plead to the charge of soliciting without a permit? Guilty or no contest?
No contest.
There's a factual basis to accept the plea. The court finds that you're entering the plea freely and voluntarily, and that you have not been threatened, forced, or coerced to enter the plea. I will accept it and sentence you to time served. Court costs will be reduced to a judgment. Sir, you have 30 days to file a notice of appeal. If you don't file that notice of appeal within those 30 days, you waive that right. If you don't have the money to hire an attorney to represent you for the appeal, I will appoint one to represent you. Good luck to you, sir. Last case I have is Ocean Kiara Vasquez. And she bonded. All right, we are adjourned.